Your dog is shaking under the table again. Ears pinned back, tail tucked tight, refusing to come out even for the treat sitting right there in your open hand. And you're standing there thinking, I have tried everything. The gentle voice, the praise, ignoring it completely, the way some trainer once told you to. Nothing sticks. Today, you're going to learn the 60-second reset, the exact sequence that calms your dog's fear response using nothing but your own body language. No treats, no hugging, no raised voice. If you're watching this because your dog turns into a completely different animal, the second something startles him, a doorbell, a stranger, a truck backfiring down the street, you're in exactly the right place. But first, here's a question worth sitting with. What if everything you were taught about comforting a scared dog has been working against you the whole time? First, let's say this clearly. You are not failing your dog. If you've spent months trying to calm him down and nothing ever seems to hold, that isn't because you lack patience or because your dog is somehow wired wrong. It's because most of us were taught to soothe a scared dog the way we'd soothe a scared child. And dogs and humans calm down through two entirely different biological pathways. So let's talk about where traditional dog training falls apart. Because this is where most owners get stuck without knowing why. The first invisible error is projection. Most of us were taught to comfort a frightened dog with the same tools we'd use on a frightened person. A soft voice, a tight hug, a treat pressed into his mouth to distract him. It feels loving, like the right thing to do. But from your dog's side, none of that speaks his language. Dogs don't process comfort through words, and a treat offered mid-fear doesn't calm a nervous system. It just adds confusion on top of stress that's already spiking. And when you wrap your arms around a frightened dog, his body often reads that as restraint, not affection, which can quietly push him closer to shutting down rather than settling. The second invisible error is missing the signals your dog already sends. Long before a full reaction happens, most dogs try to communicate biologically first. A subtle lean into your leg, a yawn that has nothing to do with being tired, a slow blink held a little too long. These are small requests for regulation. And when they go unanswered, your dog learns reaching out doesn't work. So he stops trying and goes straight to the reaction instead. Your dog has been trying to tell you he trusts you all along, in a language traditional training never taught anyone to notice. The third invisible error shows up the second you walk back through the door. Most owners focus entirely on how excited their dog gets, the jumping, the spinning, the frantic tail. But what matters most is what happens right after. Whether your dog's body actually settles, whether there's a full physical exhale once the greeting is over. When that exhale never comes, it's usually a sign his nervous system hasn't built a truly secure attachment yet, no matter how many toys or walks he gets in a day. And the fourth invisible error is the one most owners never see coming, because it happens inside them, not the dog. When your dog gets scared and you tense up, hold your breath, tighten your grip on the leash, even raise your voice gently to say, "It's okay." You're not managing his fear, you're confirming it. So what actually calms a reactive dog if none of that works? This is where we need to talk about something researchers call social referencing. In a study published in the peer-reviewed journal PLOS One, researchers observed dogs encountering something new and mildly unsettling, and found that most of them didn't just react on instinct. They looked. Specifically, they looked toward their owner's face first, checking for information before deciding how to respond. That single detail changes everything about how we should approach a scared dog. Your dog isn't only reacting to the doorbell or the stranger at the door. He's reacting to you. Reading your micro-expressions in real time like a live broadcast, trying to answer one question. Is this actually dangerous or not? Your dog isn't overreacting. He's reading you perfectly. Here's the part that tends to catch people off guard the first time they hear it. A 2019 study published in the journal Scientific Reports, conducted at Linköping University in Sweden, measured long-term cortisol, the body's primary stress hormone, in dogs and their owners over several months. What the researchers found was a genuine synchronization between the two. Owners carrying consistently higher stress had dogs carrying consistently higher stress right alongside them. Not because those dogs were simply anxious by nature, but because they were, quite literally, mirroring the biology of the person they live with, day after day. Inside the emotional sync method, we call this biological trust. The idea that your dog isn't just watching your behavior from the outside. His nervous system is slowly tuning itself to yours over time. So when your dog reacts to something small and your shoulders climb toward your ears, your breath catches, your grip on the leash goes rigid, he's scanning those micro-expressions to decide whether to escalate. Your held breath is telling him, quietly but clearly, yes, this is exactly as bad as it feels. This is the root cause of dog behavior that traditional training almost never addresses, because it only ever asks how to control the dog's response after the fact, never what the owner's own nervous system was broadcasting in the moment before. If this is landing for you, go ahead and hit that like button. And if you haven't yet, subscribe to Healing Tales Academy. We publish a new deep dive like this every single week, always rooted in the same emotional sync method, always focused on the real biological reason behind your dog's behavior, not just the surface symptom everyone else keeps trying to train away. Now, let's get into the part you actually came here for, the 60-second reset. So what does his nervous system actually need from you in those first 10 seconds, if it isn't a hug or a treat? The goal isn't to distract your dog from fear. It's to give his nervous system clear, unmistakable biological proof that the danger has passed, delivered through the exact channel he's already reading, your body, not your words. Step 1 happens in the first 10 seconds. The moment your dog reacts, freezes, barks, backs away, resist the urge to react back. No sudden movement, no tightening of the leash, no raised voice, however gentle. Instead, drop your shoulders and let out one long, slow exhale through your mouth, audible enough for him to hear. That single breath communicates more than any sentence you could say, because dogs are remarkably tuned to the rhythm of breath as a signal of safety. Step 2 runs from 10 to 30 seconds. Soften your posture without hovering over him, and look away from whatever triggered him, not at his eyes, but past him, towards something neutral. This matters more than it sounds, because tense, direct eye contact toward the perceived threat can actually confirm his fear through social referencing. When you visibly disengage, you're handing him information his whole body understands. I checked, and this isn't worth either of our attention. Step 3 runs from 30 to 45 seconds. Once his breathing begins to slow, even slightly, that's the cortisol drop beginning, the sign his nervous system is stepping down from high alert. This is the moment for one calm, low word, not excited praise, just an even, grounded tone, almost like finishing a sentence you'd already started. The tone carries far more information than the word itself. Step 4 runs from 45 seconds to the full minute. Invite movement, not affection. A few slow, unhurried steps away from the trigger. Movement helps discharge the stress chemicals circulating through his body, and it gives you one clear marker of success. If he walks beside you loosely, tail beginning to relax, the reset worked. Practice this consistently, and something interesting starts happening over the following weeks. Your dog's baseline reactivity, how fast he escalates, begins to shift. Not because he suddenly stops noticing the doorbell or the stranger at the door, but because his nervous system has started trusting your signal more than it trusts the trigger itself. That's what biological trust actually looks like once it's working. Your dog isn't overreacting. He's reading you perfectly, and now, for the first time, you know exactly what he's been reading. Here's something worth sitting with. The 60-second reset addresses the fear you can see, the shaking, the barking, the freezing at the door. But fear is only one thread in how your dog's nervous system operates. The same wiring shaping his reaction to a stranger also shapes how he greets you at the door, how he handles the hours you're away, and why he might listen beautifully one day and seem to ignore you the next. That was never inconsistency. It was always the same nervous system, responding to different signals from you, and most owners only ever learn to read the flare-up moments, never the full picture underneath. That's not something to shelve for later. What else has he been trying to tell you in moments you never thought to look? This is exactly what the emotional sync method keeps building toward, not one isolated reaction, but the entire 5-part cycle running between your dog's nervous system and yours. Awareness, regulation, signal, reinforcement, and trust. If today's technique helped even a little, understand that it's only the surface of what's actually possible. We put the complete method into a guide called The Dog Who Understands You, covering separation anxiety, reactivity, leash pulling, and the everyday moments most owners misread without realizing it. If you want to know more, go visit our community tab. And if you'd rather start with something free, there's a checklist waiting there too. 10 things to check before any interaction with your dog. No email required, just download it. Your dog isn't overreacting. He's reading you perfectly, and now finally, you're reading him back. If this helped, like this video and share it with someone whose dog could use a calmer version of them. And if leash pulling is the next battle on your list, there's a video on this channel built on this same trust system waiting for you right now. Go watch that one next.